Hi, my name is Allison Welk and I'm a master's student in the Animal Welfare Program. Today I'll be talking about my work on individualized weaning of dairy calves. So for my thesis, I had two objectives. The first was to compare feeding behavior and growth of calves weaned off of three different methods. The first one was based off of age, while the other two had an intake criterion incorporated into them. Our second objective, we really wanted to see how different forage types would affect the performance of calves on different weaning programs. So for this objective, we provided calves either a grass hay or a silage-based TMR, which was the same TMR we fed our lactating cows. So to go over some of our weaning treatments. So our first weaning treatment was based off of age. So here all calves had access to 12 liters of milk until day 30, where they experienced initial reduction in milk, which was 25% of their average milk intake. At this point, they remained on that milk allowance until day 62, where they were weaned down until weaning at day 70. For our second weaning treatment, we looked at an intake-based weaning method. So these calves started the same way as the aged calves, except after the initial milk reduction, calves had to meet three different solid feed intake targets in order for milk to be reduced. So for these calves, they were able to wean at variable weaning ages between 7 weeks and 10 weeks of age. Our final weaning method was a combination of the two. So again, these calves started the exact same way as the other two treatments. However, after the initial milk reduction, they had to meet one solid feed intake target. After that, milk was reduced until all calves were weaned at 70 days of age. So for these calves, they had the same weaning age at 70 days. However, their milk reduction was different lengths. Now, to be successful in our two intake-based weaning methods, calves had to meet these dry matter intake targets. However, not all calves were able to meet these targets by 62 days of age. So we had about 10 calves that failed to meet these targets. And so since we predicted that these calves would have different outcomes than the successful calves, we decided to analyze them separately. So moving on to the results. So overall, we found calves on an intake-based weaning method had greater solid feed intake and increased growth for successfully weaned calves. So as you can see here on the graph, intake and combination calves had the highest final weight at 12 weeks, with aged calves weighing about 6 kilograms less at 12 weeks. However, probably the most shocking result are the failed calves, which weaned about 20 kilograms less than the other three weaning treatments. And going on to back to our forage treatments, so overall we found that hay calves had greater solid feed intake and a greater final weight at 12 weeks, and these calves weighed about 6 kilograms more than the TMR calves. Thank you for listening to my presentation.